And I think the main thing is that everything here is so incredibly different than what you see out on the rest of the show floor. But the things you see here this year, you will start to see out there next year and the year after. So these are games that have been submitted to our festival, kind of the first round, and people are thinking about the political climate right now. And games are really personal, especially independent games. People can use them to make really powerful statements.
I made this game where you're presented with some kind of statement made by a political figure. And it's essentially Tinder for fake news. So it's really easy. You have some kind of statement, and then you swipe to the right if you think it's true, and you swipe to the left if you think it's false. And the really cool thing is it's kind of half game, half research project, because we keep very detailed statistics. And eventually, when you log in through Facebook, we'll be able to break down all of those statistics demographically. Proliferation of fake news is a huge problem, and it affects I think, both Democrats and Republicans alike. One major issue I think we were all aware is, regardless of your political persuasion, the media was so confident in the statistics that Trump would not win. And it, I think, speaks to how poor our statistics are and how much they are subjected to various biases. It's entirely nonpartisan, and it's a lot of fun, and my hope is that it just kind of is a casual, kind of fun thing that you do when you're bored to kind of engender some political awareness.
The writer of the game, Karin Tidbeck, works with Syrian refugees in Sweden, which of course is the country that took in more Syrian refugees during the European crisis recently than any other country in the world. So she's writing about what she knows. In her game, you play a young woman who one day discovers that she has enormous magical powers. She's actually a mage. And she also, like the author, works with Syrian refugees in Sweden. Having that much magical power obviously brings the opportunity to make serious ethical and moral choices. What do you do about the refugee crisis? Is it possible to use magic to help solve it? Magic. We hope that it will raise awareness, and we also hope that it will provoke them and inspire them to dig into the issues and explore them on their own. Maybe reach their own conclusions and not rely so much on news headlines.
You know about the political campaign last year. Trump was trying to get into office, and well, my parents had to actually cross the border 20 years ago, and luckily I was born here. But I really wanted to create something where people simulate what it's like to cross the border. So maybe they'll have a bit more of a compassion or open arms towards those immigrants.
But yeah, I was invited to Austin. I was invited to Sheffield in the UK. So my other developer's actually there right now. And then I was invited here.
Basically, you go from point A to point B. All you do is move up, down, left, right. You avoid La Migra or the Border Patrol, and they have like a sight range. And you also have to stay hydrated because obviously the desert's pretty hot. But basically along the way, if you die, you're going to leave behind a skeleton on the map. There's currently 1,600 skeletons in the game of people who have played the game and died. I hope that people can play this and hopefully come out and be like, wow, this is a little hard. This is something that actually happens. There is over 1,000 people that die every year crossing the border. And I hope that maybe it'll help them maybe try to do something about it.
So this game was actually made in a week with our event Resist Jam. And Resist Jam was a game jam that was meant to challenge developers to create games about the current political climate. Andrew C. Wang made this game in a week for Resist Jam, and he created this as sort of a sandbox for players to explore what they would do if they were to witness hate speech occurring in their vicinity. It really gets right down to the essence of what hate speech can do to other people and how people will react to it, like in a subway. Will they just ignore it and go about their lives, or will they step in and, you know, see what they can do to help the other person?